Welcome to Elevated Sports. I'm Kyle Johnson.
I'm Billy Mock.
We're back for a very special and unique episode.
Oh yeah, our first attempt at doing elevated sports across the airwaves, I guess if you want to call it that. It's been a while since we did a video.
It has been.
How is quarantine life treating you?
It's not fun. I honestly I can't wait to get out of quarantine. But at the moment, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get rid of coronavirus once for all.
I agree. I think about sports a lot. I even told you that the other day I was talking to my mom about Tom Brady, and she had no idea what I was talking about. But I just desired to talk about sports.
Just kept going anyway. It didn't matter whether she knew what.
It didn't matter. I kept babbling on, and then 2 days later we have the Rob Gronkowski news. So even though there's been no sports, there has been a lot of craziness going on.
There has been.
And this week we have the NFL draft.
Honestly, I love the NFL draft, especially the first round itself is just a blast to watch.
It's a lot of fun.
So if you haven't figured out by now, that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about the NFL draft.
It is. We're filming this the Wednesday night before the draft, so you'll probably be watching this video on Thursday before the draft, depending on when this video gets out. We did a mock draft for the first round. I did not include any of the trades. I did keep in mind that there are a few teams on this list that are likely going to make a trade. And then also I did include the teams that do not have a first-round pick, if you see right here.
I was wondering what that was. Okay, I got you.
Yes, I wanted to at least get one pick for every team.
I showed no care for that. I just went straight up first round, and if you didn't get a pick, you don't get a pick.
So right here are my picks, and then down here are Kyle's picks, and he has the trade tracker. So I had the teams that didn't have a first round pick. Kyle has the trade tracker. Best of both worlds right there. But with that being said, I guess we can get right into it.
I think we both agreed on the overall pick.
We did.
Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's going to be going to Cincinnati. Rest in peace to Joe Burrow. You hate to see a career that way.
Poor Joe. Oh gosh.
Oh.
They did keep AJ Green though. That's one bright side of that. Him will be his quarterback. But the consensus is that it's going to be Burrow first pick. And I think the second pick we can say the same thing.
I think they're both pretty consensus. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard much. I haven't heard anything different about who the Redskins want, but I have heard rumors that that the Redskins have been receiving calls about someone swapping places with them.
Right.
But I don't think the Redskins are trying to do that.
No, especially since many are saying that Chase Young is going to be the best player in the draft. It's just that's not what the Bengals need, so that's why Joe Burrow is going first. So I don't see why the Redskins would trade out of that. But yeah, I got Chase Young going second.
All right. So let's go to pick 3, and then this is where things got different.
This is where I started experimenting.
Yes. So I have your list down here.
Okay. So I actually had the Dolphins trading the 5th overall pick and the 26th overall pick to the Lions for the 3rd overall pick. And this was based on reports I read today that the Dolphins were interested in trading up to the 3rd pick for an offensive tackle or for an offensive lineman, at which point I had them taking Tristan Wirfs. Iowa alumni, got to represent. I think he's the best offensive lineman in the draft, and I think that's who the Dolphins are going to take with it. And you'll see a little bit later on, I think the Dolphins still get their guy at quarterback.
I'm trying to find the other. Oh, okay. So you think they're going to take Herbert with their next pick?
Oh, okay. Spoiler alert.
This is a spoiler. I wanted to see because I wanted to ask you what's happening with Tua.
Well, I mean, it's on the screen for everyone to see. There's no surprise, but we're just going over it. Who do you have? Who do you have the Lions taking at 3rd?
I have them taking Jeff Okudah, cornerback out of Ohio State.
Okay.
That was one that was I think that's one if the Lions do stay at 3, which is looking kind of unlikely now because the Dolphins will. It's looking like the Dolphins are going to trade for that pick. It does seem like it's that if the Lions do keep that pick, they go with Okuda.
Right. And I'm looking at your number 4 pick right here. You got the Giants taking Isaiah Simmons. I believe
Yeah.
I had the Giants also taking Isaiah Simmons. Um, and since I only had the Lions and the Dolphins swapping right there, I still had the Lions taking their guy Jeff Okuda at 5. So I still have Jeff Okuda going to the Lions just a little bit later.
Okay, so you see my 5th pick here. I have Tua going to the Dolphins.
Right.
And I know it seemed like the whole offseason it was the Dolphins were planning on taking Tua.
Right.
And then the last week or so, that's kind of seems to be falling out. Obviously, there's the injury concerns with Tua.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, I think the Dolphins should still go with Tua. One of the main reasons is because of all the draft capital that the Dolphins have in this draft.
Right.
Tua can get drafted by the Dolphins this season, play one season on the bench behind Fitzmagic. He can rest. He can work on his hip, whatever needs to take place for him to get onto the field. Learn the Dolphin system, whatever it takes. And then if it doesn't work out, think about all of the young talent they have with this year's draft and what they already had. You can put something together to get a quarterback. And the Dolphins don't have much to lose at this point. They have made some moves this offseason,
Mm-hmm.
but they're still not a top-tier team, in my opinion, and won't be for a little bit. So I don't think that they're taking much of a risk taking Tua. And I think, aside from Joe Burrow, I think Tua's the most talented quarterback in the draft.
Right. Okay. All right. That's fair. I'm not high on Tua at all. And that's why I kind of don't have the Dolphins taking him there. I don't know if they're super high on him right now. And between the injury concerns, and I don't really know much about the Wonderlic test or whatever, but Tua was the lowest graded quarterback on that. And I think that has to do with like quarterback intelligence or something.
That's true. That is true.
But I still think
very talented. There is the lack of football intelligence.
Right. So I'm interested to see what happens there.
Also
over Isaiah Simmons. Isaiah Simmons is just super talented. He's got to go early on in the draft.
Yeah, probably the best linebacker in the draft. So 5 you had Okuda. Okay, and then the Chargers. So you had Tua going to the Chargers.
I had Tua going to the Chargers, yeah.
Okay, and I have Justin Herbert going to the Chargers.
We both agree they both need they need a quarterback.
Yes,
it's just best quarterback available at the moment, I suppose.
Yeah, if the Dolphins picked Herbert, I would expect the Chargers to take Tua.
Right. So. Yeah. No, absolutely. I agree.
All right, moving down. 7th pick, we got the Carolina Panthers. We both have them taking Derek Brown.
Derek Brown out of Auburn.
Cardinals made a big move this offseason.
Yeah, it's very big.
Hopkins, quite the move on the Cardinals' part.
Yeah. Bill O'Brien must be drug tested before making all draft picks this draft.
Yeah, he does. I fear for Texans fans. I don't know. They don't have a first-round pick. The Texans don't. Talking the Cardinals here at the 8th pick, obviously they made that huge move on the offensive side of the ball.
For Hopkins.
In my opinion, obviously they need help on the defensive side of the ball. So I have them taking Javon Kinlaw out of South Carolina.
Okay. I don't remember who. I think I had him taking who did I have him taking? I had him taking Jedrick Wills Jr.
Yep.
My reason behind this was exactly, dealing with the DeAndre Hopkins trade. They have DeAndre Hopkins. They have Kyler Murray. They have Larry Fitzgerald. They have Christian Kirk. They have this offensive talent, but they don't have anyone to protect Kyler Murray.
That is one thing I was thinking about when I was thinking about this pick specifically. And I think I saw a stat that Kyler Murray, he was, stacked, I think, 3rd most in the league, and he's a mobile quarterback too. So I think they can go either way, offensive line or defensive line here.
I was torn on that decision, but I think just kind of got to boost that offense that they're trying so hard to start.
Ninth pick. Okay, so you had the Raiders trading up to the Jaguars spot.
Yeah, so I don't remember what my trade was. I had the Raiders trade the 12 overall and the 19 overall to the Jaguars for the ninth overall pick. Um, why did I do this? Jaguars I feel like the Jaguars are willing to trade. They have some major holes they need to fill on their defense, and the Raiders have the capital to do so, and the Raiders want to get their guy.
So you have them taking Judy out of Alabama.
Yeah.
You think that if the Raiders were to stay at 12, someone else was going to take them before?
Yeah, I think who did I have? The Jets. I think the Jets may have taken Jerry Judy before.
Okay. Yeah, that would make sense. I don't have a trade there. I had the Jaguars sticking out. I mean, obviously there may be a trade, but who I have the Jaguars taking is C.J. Henderson out of
Florida.
Florida. My boy C.J.
Yeah, I kind of figured you had C.J. Henderson up there because you're a Florida fan.
Yes.
You'll notice that my next cornerback taken is not C.J. Henderson.
Let me take a peek. Oh, Trevon Diggs. So you have the Jaguars taking a corner, but not Henderson.
Yeah, I feel like they didn't have to worry about the teams that would come before them by trading back because they're not going to be taking the position that they really want at that moment.
Yes, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So I feel like it was really a win-win situation for the Jaguars. Get more picks, help fill that defense, and still get the guy they want.
Yeah, for sure.
But you had C.J. Henderson, and I had the Raiders taking Jerry Judy.
And ironically, I have the Raiders taking him as well at 12. And I didn't have the Jets taking a wide receiver. I had them taking offensive lineman.
Yeah, I'm taking Mekhi. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I had the Jets taking CeeDee Lamb at 11. And then I had the Browns taking Mekhi back then at 10.
Okay. I had the Browns with the Browns with Tristan Wirfs.
Right. Yeah. Was that
he's my first offensive line to.
Okay. So we both agree that Tristan Wirfs is probably going to be the first offensive lineman taken in this draft.
Yes, agreed.
Okay.
A lot of offensive linemen that are going to go in this first round, I think.
I think so too. Yeah, definitely. So we've muddled our way through the pick number 12. We're now at pick 13, correct?
Yes, the 49ers.
All right, so you had them taking Henry Ruggs.
Yep.
I had them taking – I don't remember who I had the Niners taking there. I had them taking a receiver for sure. I had them taking Justin Jefferson. I felt like they wanted to go someone a little bit bigger than Henry Ruggs.
Yeah, I had Henry Ruggs here personally. I just think he's behind Judy. I think he's the second best wide receiver in this draft. Obviously, you had the loss in Emmanuel Sanders.
Right.
I think you replace the speed there with Ruggs. I do like Justin Jefferson. I have him 2 picks down from Ruggs.
Right.
I think he's one of the more underrated receivers.
Definitely.
In this draft, a lot of the mock drafts I was looking at, Jefferson is like late first round or early second round. So I had Justin Jefferson going to the Broncos.
Okay.
But I think we can agree that the Niners, Super Bowl run, a pretty complete team, but I think the wide receiver spot is where they were missing.
Definitely. And I had them taking Justin Jefferson. I like Henry Ruggs, but they have Deebo Samuel, and he's a little bit on the smaller side, and he's really quick. So I feel like the best way to complement a receiver like that is not to get another one like that, but to get somebody maybe a little bit bigger.
Yeah, Jefferson's great. I watched a lot of Justin Jefferson this year with him at LSU.
Right.
If he does go to the Niners, I think he can be a key piece. Same with Henry Ruggs.
Definitely.
So, all right, number 14. You know who's next?
The Bucs. Yeah.
The Bay Buccaneers.
I think I had him taking Andrew Thomas as well.
That has been what most people have predicted since signing Tom Brady. If you happen to watch our first video talking to NFL draft, probably a month ago, I can't remember who you picked, but I knew I picked DeAndre Swift, a running back, and that was before Brady. That was when I was still pulling for Jameis,
Yeah.
and I figured that we needed a running back. But this whole offseason has been the Bucs catering to Brady. He has the weapons. Now he just needs to be protected.
Yep.
So I think they definitely go with Andrew Thomas, if not another offensive lineman.
Yeah, I definitely have them taking some kind of offensive lineman here. Either way, we both have them taking Andrew Thomas.
Pick 15, Broncos. I already said it. I got Justin Jefferson there. Who do you got?
I think I have Henry Ruggs.
Okay, so our pick swap there for the Broncos and the 49ers. Yeah, I think I'm in agreement. That can go either way with either of those teams.
Right. It really just depends on what kind of style offense they want to run.
Falcons.
I had a trade here.
You have a trade. Okay, let's take a look.
So you have the Falcons here. I had the Jaguars trading pick number 19 and Leonard Fournette to Atlanta.
I see that. That's interesting. That is interesting. Well, here's the thing. Do you think Atlanta's willing to give up that pick when to get Fournette, they signed Todd Gurley this offseason?
Yes.
Did that play a factor?
No, that did not. I forgot that happened. This whole offseason's been a blur.
It has been. There's been a lot.
Well, we'll take Fournette out of there, and we'll give him like a later round pick, maybe like a third or fourth round pick from the Jags. But either way, I have the Jaguars moving up to spot 16 and Atlanta moving back to spot 19.
So you have with 16, you have the Jaguars taking Javon Kinlaw.
Yeah, I have them filling another defensive hole that is going to be left once Yannick Ngakoue leaves, undoubtedly, after trashing the owner's son. Not a good look.
Not a good look. I had the Falcons there at 16, taking Clavon. I may butcher his last name.
Chasson,
edge rusher out of LSU. The Falcons' defense has it's been mediocre to poor the last couple of seasons.
Yeah,
they definitely need that guy on the front line though.
Definitely, and I think they got rid of Vic Beasley this offseason, who had a pretty good start to his career, but he kind of started falling off. So hopefully that's the replacement for him.
Number 17, the Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys.
I had the Cowboys taking Clavon Chasson.
I think I had the Cowboys taking a safety here.
Yeah, you had it. Yeah.
I was thinking about the fact that they lost Byron Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I got them taking Xavier McKinney out of Alabama. The Dolphins in your list of the Dolphins trade this pick?
No. Dolphins are still there.
Okay.
I had them getting their guy, Justin Herbert.
Okay, there it is.
There's the future of the Dolphins right there.
Yeah, in your list, this really works out for the Dolphins. I'm really interested to see what they do because on your mock draft here, if they make that trade, they really are set because they get their offensive lineman, and then they get their quarterback.
I think so. Here's the thing. I think there's plenty of quarterbacks in this draft, and not enough teams that need a quarterback that badly.
Yeah,
that they can't afford to make that trade.
I have the Dolphins taking Kenneth Murray.
Okay, yeah, Kenneth Murray. I like Kenneth Murray, and I think you'll see why a little bit later in my draft.
Okay. I actually, you know what? When I was watching you type, I saw who Kenneth Murray went to.
You watched me type it.
I did. I was waiting for the Patriots, but I don't want to spoil anything. Number 19, the Raiders, and you have the Falcons on yours at 19.
Yeah.
And you got C.J. Henderson.
Yeah, I got the Falcons filling in more of their defense. Another big flaw on their team is the defense.
19, I had Patrick Queen, linebacker out of LSU for the Raiders. Number 20, I have the Jaguars.
Okay.
You have the Jaguars again, and you had You have Patrick Queen there.
I have Patrick Queen, going to the Jaguars. I really had the Jaguars just hunkering down on their defense since they have just completely obliterated their defense. They're on the verge of losing Yannick. They traded away Jalen Ramsey last year. They traded away AJ Bouye. I don't think they have a defense right now. I don't think there's any players left on that team.
I don't know exactly what has happened in Jacksonville. I don't know if the coronavirus took over or something, but Jaguars don't have anybody. But I'm giving them a wide receiver. I'm giving them CD Lamb.
I like that pick because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but they just cut Marquise Lee.
Number 21, Eagles, Zach Bond, linebacker, Wisconsin. I wasn't really sure where to go with the Eagles because the Eagles are kind of a wild card right now. Had the kind of a bad, I wouldn't say a bad season since they made the playoffs, but they're kind of all over the place.
No, absolutely.
So I was kind of looking at where they could go. Was looking at linebackers, and Zach Bond at this point in the draft, he was a top linebacker for me.
So I think I went wide receiver on that pick for them because looking at their wide receivers last year, I wanted to cry for them, and I don't like the Eagles. But I was considering Brandon Ayuk from Arizona State.
Yeah.
But when you read through his profile, it talks about how he's a little inconsistent with his catching. And I'm like, that is the last thing that the Eagles needed is another inconsistent wide receiver. So that's why I went with T. Higgins with that pick.
I did have T. Higgins going to another team who I'll not name yet. Before that, we have the Vikings. I have the Vikings taking Ayuk.
I think I had the Vikings taking Ayuk as well.
You did.
Boom. All right, we're in agreement. Best receiver available goes to the Vikings.
You got to think that they're going to at least take a wide receiver, top 2 rounds at least. And that leads to the New England Patriots, which I have T. Higgins. I have them taking T. Higgins. Julian Edelman at this point is their only wide receiver I can name. It doesn't matter who they, choose to be their quarterback next year. I think it's clear that they need some help at the wide receiver position.
Absolutely. And you will see them. I have chosen very opposite of that.
Yeah.
And let me give my reason why. See, I would love for the Patriots to draft a wide receiver or a quarterback. I often do. I often want to see some explosive big name in the first round. And they usually let me down, and they usually trade out of their spot. But this year I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're going to keep their spot, but they're still going to let me down, and they're going to draft a linebacker.
Okay.
Which isn't exactly what I want, but I like the pick. I like Kenneth Murray. Kenneth Murray seems like a good pick for them. Good fit.
Well, I think it's safe to say that Belichick, he makes the most out of his picks.
Right.
And it's funny what you said about, them trading, because I was actually going to ask you. I was going to ask if you thought if Belichick had any tricks up his sleeve for this draft.
I absolutely think he does. I think he's going to take advantage of the fact that no one else knows how to use technology. I don't know if he does. But he's probably going to have his son send a lag switch or whatever, and they're going to be lagging. Sir, you have 10 seconds left. I'm lagging.
Is it like fantasy football drafts where if they don't make their
auto pick
auto draft?
Yeah. Did you guys set your auto draft lineup for tomorrow night?
It should be a division rival has to pick the player for them if they can't pick in time.
Oh no. Yeah, we're gonna take a kicker in the first round.
All right. Pick number 24 is the Saints. On that one, you've got them taking Xavier McKinney. Saints, solid offensive team. Ironically, I think they're going to take Jordan Love.
Okay, that I wasn't expecting you to say, but all right. Okay.
I figured with this probably being Drew Brees' last year, probably, obviously they have the thing with Taysom Hill, but I don't think he's obviously not going to be the answer long term.
No.
I think it'd be smart for them to take a quarterback in this draft.
Okay.
And I think Jordan Love, he's one of the better quarterbacks in this draft. I don't think it'd be a risk taking him first, just because of the offense that the Saints have already. So I have them taking Jordan Love out of Utah State.
Right. And I had them taking Xavier McKinney. I was reading their draft analysis and their needs. So, like, really just take it with a grain of salt because there's not a lot of needs that the Saints have.
Yeah.
So they're like, just, they'll probably take the best available player. And at that moment, I had Xavier McKinney as the best available player. So I'm like, all right, good player. Let's get him plugged in there.
Yeah. 25, we have the Vikings again. AJ Epinesa.
I think it's Epinesa.
Epinesa. I have the Vikings taking Christian Fulton.
Okay.
Back out of LSU. So I think we both have defensive players there.
Okay, so the reason I did this, I wanted to take a cornerback for them, but they also needed a pass rush.
Yeah.
And I was kind of looking at like the ratings on some of the defensive ends that were still on the board at this point, and there was a big drop off in their talent level as compared to the cornerback's talent level. So I think that's why I went defensive end on that pick.
We have the Dolphins again.
Yeah.
I have them taking DeAndre Swift.
Oh, I have the Lions here. This is one of the picks the Lions got when they traded early on.
26.
You had DeAndre Swift going to the Dolphins? Okay. Yeah. I was thinking about a running back for the Dolphins, but I know they just signed Jordan Howard, so they'll probably try to utilize him a little bit. I still believe in Jordan Howard, so
yeah.
I had the Lions going with Ross Blacklock.
TCU product, defensive tackle. Next, we got the Seahawks. I have them taking Austin Jackson.
So do I.
Line from USC. You have them taking Austin Jackson as well?
Yeah. I think that's – no, I had them taking Ezra Cleveland.
Okay, I see that.
Yeah, but we both had them going offensive line. They got to protect Russell Westbrook. Right?
Russell Westbrook.
What jersey are you wearing right now?
I'm wearing Russell Westbrook. That's why I'm laughing.
Russell Wilson. Got to protect Russell Wilson.
He is. I think Wilson is getting to the point though where protection is definitely a priority.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit older. Gotta save him.
He's not Iron Man. He's not. No. He's not the player we thought he was. He's great, but he's not going to last forever.
No.
28. The Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
I have them taking a tight end here.
Okay. Why? Explain to me.
Okay, so I figured their running game doesn't really have much need. No. Obviously, Lamar can run the ball across America. Have Mark Ingram. Wide receivers, they're kind of weak in with what they got at wide receiver. But I figured since there's not a lot of buzz with the tight ends this year, I figured they can go ahead and just take the top tight end and have another target for Lamar Jackson. Now, that's something I did not see. I don't think I saw in any mock drafts a tight end going in the first round.
No, definitely, and I definitely didn't see Harrison Bryant either. But that's interesting. I don't remember.
For the Ravens, you got Logan Wilson.
Yeah, they were talking about losing. They were talking about like a weaker linebacker group. So I just figured might as well bolster them because there's not too many. I feel like there's not too many holes there. Maybe a wide receiver, but I feel like they could still get a solid wide receiver in the second round.
Next, we got the Tennessee Titans. I got them taking offensive line, Isaiah Wilson out of Georgia.
I think I agreed with you. Nope.
No. Yetur Gross-Matos.
Wait. Yeah, no, yeah. I'm so glad you said that instead of me because I had no idea how to pronounce it. I'm like,
I don't know either. I was just going for it. I figured the Titans don't have any holes on their team. One of the best defenses in the league, and their offense is basically give the ball to Derrick Henry.
Right.
If that's going to be the case, then draft an offensive lineman. So.
Yeah. No, I could get behind that.
Okay, so your guy is a defensive end.
Yeah, so they lost Jarrell Casey this offseason, and I think they were the ones that added Vic Beasley, and they're saying how Vic Beasley hasn't been super great, so it kind of left some holes on their defensive front. So I think that's kind of why I went with Yetur Gross Matus, whatever his name is, something like that.
Yeah. Pick number 30, we got the Green Bay Packers. I have them taking Michael Pittman, wide receiver.
Yeah, I really don't want to see that happen. I don't want Aaron Rodgers to have any more receivers.
That was my thing. I mean, after watching what happened to the Packers in the NFC Championship game last year, I'm like, Aaron Rodgers needs some more guys to throw to. Devontae Adams isn't going to cut it.
No.
So I threw him a wide receiver there.
I had him taking Isaiah Wilson because they lost Brian Bulaga and they got someone to replace him. But I believe he was only on like a 1-year deal. And then their other tackle and their centers are on the final years of their contract. So it's probably about time to start adding some offensive line to protect Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he is fragile. Don't let Khalil Mack get near him.
Yes, don't let that happen. Pick 31. You have the Dolphins on yours, and I have the 49ers.
Yeah, go with yours first.
I got Jalen Johnson, cornerback out of Utah.
Yeah, they could definitely use some secondary help.
And you've got Antoine Winfield.
So I had Miami trading pick 39, 141, and 227 to the Niners for that pick. And the reason so is because I think the Niners got the main guy that they wanted in this draft up at pick 13.
Yeah.
And they have very limited draft capital this draft. So trading back, what is that, 8 picks? They may still be able to get their guy, and they'll have to be able to make more picks, add some more depth in there.
Okay.
But I had the Dolphins picking Antoine Winfield Jr. He was the best safety left on the board, and I think they'll kind of give the Dolphins a little bit of solid defensive talent in the first round.
Final pick of the first round, we got the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
I have them taking J.K. Dobbins.
Okay, I could get behind them getting a running back.
Yeah.
I had them going a little defense. Their defense seemed to play well in the Super Bowl once they got it figured out. But Zach Bond, I think you had him going a little bit earlier in the draft. He seems to be a pretty versatile player.
For sure, yeah. And the Chiefs' defense, I'd say it was a little above average. Obviously, one of the best offenses in the league.
Right.
But bolstering that defense is important moving forward, I think, for sure. But also the running game as well. The running game wasn't non-existent, but probably wasn't where they wanted it to be. And I can't remember the name of the Damian Williams, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, that's the first round. Like I said, I included all the teams that didn't get a first round pick. I'll just run through those real quick. I got the Colts taking Robert Hunt, offensive line. The Texans, they did add David Johnson in the DeAndre Hopkins trade, but health is a concern with him, so I have them taking the running back, Jonathan Taylor.
Okay. That's bold. They still have Carlos Hyde as well.
That is true. They have Carlos Hyde, but I'm not completely sold on their running game.
No, I wouldn't say I am either. I feel so bad for Carlos Hyde. I feel like he has like good seasons everywhere he goes, and then the teams are just like, nah, we don't want you.
Yeah. The Bears, I have them taking a tight end.
Okay.
Cole out of Notre Dame. Steelers, Justin Madubuike. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Defensive line. The Rams, I have them taking a running back. Obviously lost Gurley there.
Yeah, they need one.
And then I have the Bills taking a tight end. I figured the Bills, they have one of the stronger defenses. Just added Stephon Diggs. Add a tight end there for Josh Allen to throw to. So that's all my picks.
Awesome.
That's all your picks.
That is beautiful. That is the first round of the 2020 NFL Draft as mocked up by your host at Elevated Sports.
Yes. Why don't you announce what we'll be doing tomorrow during the draft?
Oh, yes. We will be joining our good friend, Mr. Bucks Nation, be doing a live reaction video to the NFL draft. And since it's Jamie's live video, he will be like hosting it. He's the host.
Okay.
So he's going to be having special guests on for different picks. Like I know a friend of mine went to Ohio State. He's going to be on for all the Ohio State picks and kind of give like analysis there. And then we can just give our 2 cents as the night goes on and just try to keep you guys entertained and informed about what is happening.
Where will that be broadcasted?
YouTube.
I want to make sure because I didn't even know where it was being broadcasted.
Is that the correct answer? Is that the answer you're looking for?
I don't know.
I think that's the answer you're looking for.
Maybe we need to have a meeting when this video is over.
Yes, we need to have another private meeting.
We hope you guys enjoyed our mock draft. Let us know in the comments what you think is going to happen. Any crazy trades, any picks that will be out of nowhere. Let us know what you think. Like the video, comment below, subscribe. Check the description for the social medias. Be sure to tune in to the live draft, the draft live stream with James Hill, aka Mr. Bucks Nation. We'll see you next time on Elevated Sports.